Blog Talk Radio.
This is the girl George and the Dragons Radio Show. We're into Thanksgiving month, huh? It's almost Turkey Day. So today we have an old friend of mine from L.A. that wrote a song that I just love called Have a Cigar, Your Wife Just Had My Baby. And we used to play down at the Palomino all the time together, and he played at a few of my love-ins down there. And he's been all over. He's been in Nashville and everything. He's kind of a country singer-songwriter. How are you? Terry Lee Ballard. How are you?
Hi, George. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
Well, it's good
Where
to
are you
hear.
at now? Where are you at now?
I'm living in Texas. I do
Texas.
the Texas music thing down here, and I'm living just north of Houston in a little town called Cleveland.
Are you playing down there?
Yeah, I play here, there, and everywhere.
Do you ever get up to Austin? I hear a big thing going on in Austin.
No, I was going to go to Austin a couple of years ago with our old friend, an old friend of ours, a mutual friend. Dale Watson invited me over.
Uh-huh.
And I never made it.
You used to play with Burton, didn't you? Elvis's old guitar player?
Yeah, I actually used to live at James Burton's house, and he would take me out to different jam sessions and get up and jam with me.
Where was that at? What town?
Night.
Where?
What's
what
that?
town was that? What town was that?
Oh, James Burton?
Yeah.
I lived in his house in Beverly Hills.
Oh, cool. That was real cool.
Like
yeah, that's when I knew you was around that time.
Yeah.
What was that, the
the
1980s or something?
What's that?
That was the 1980s?
Had to be, yeah. It was in the probably mid-'80s.
It's 80s. Because I got to L.A. in about 83, and that's when we were living on India Street. And Bonnie was still there, so that was like 83, 84. So then you went to Nashville, huh? When did you go to Nashville?
Nashville. And lived in Nashville about 14 years. So
when did you go there?
About 3 or 4 different times. I go back and forth from Los Angeles to Nashville.
Didn't you play at the museum or something there, the Country Museum?
Yeah, Valley Wax Museum, right across from the Opryland Hotel.
Uh-huh.
It's really nice out there. I played there. I also managed the museum. I gave tours to the museum, and I used to play out front on the porch. It's kind of the building looks like an old Western town building.
Cool.
And I set up out there and played out there with a PA system. And
so you're a part of the scenery, huh? You're a part of the scenery?
Yeah, it's part of the scenery.
Cool. I love Nashville.
It was good. The pay was good. And I did that for I managed the museum for about a year. And then the owner says, hey, I got a better idea. Why don't you play outside and I'll pay you the same money and you can make tips too. And then when you're not playing, you can give people tours to the museum. And I'll give you $1 for every person you take through the museum. Well, I take 80 or 90 people through there a day.
Cool.
And I got my, and then he paid me $10 an hour too. So it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah. How did you get around to writing Have a Cigar, Your Wife Just Had My Baby? That's the funniest song I ever heard.
Oh, guy, when I was a kid back in Oklahoma, because I wrote that, I think, let's see, how old was I? I was about 16, 17 when I wrote that. And a guy was telling me a story how when he was in the Navy, his wife ran off with a sailor. While he was out to sea, his wife ran off with another guy and had his baby. And then sent him a letter about it. And I sat down and wrote a song about it. It was pretty funny, I thought.
I think it's hilarious.
I don't play it too much anymore. I guess I got burnt. I played it so many years out there in California and Nashville, I got burned out on it. I play it every once in a while.
That's just it. The one that people love the most is you get so tired of doing it. Like Johnny got herpes. I wrote that 30 years ago, and they still want to hear it over and over and over again. Or Like a Whore. They like the dirty stuff, of course.
Yeah, they like.
But I still like doing it because I like to get them screaming and yelling. So I could do it a million times as long as they keep screaming and yelling. I'm happy.
I hear you. Now, look, the problem I have is if I try to have a cigar anymore, it's been so long since I've done it, I bust up laughing at my own lyrics. Because it's like new and fresh to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a hard time not cracking up.
Where are you from originally, Oklahoma?
Well, I grew up in Oklahoma, but I was born in Missouri.
Oh, where at Missouri?
St. Joseph, Missouri.
Okay. So, what did your father and mother do? What kind of work they do?
My father was for years. My father was a musician, and he played with Les Brown and his band Renown.
Cool. What did he play?
Was a trombone player.
A what?
A trombone player with Les Brown and his band Renown.
Player. Cool. So,
and
what did your mama
do?
do?
Mac Amateur Hour. I don't know. You're probably not old enough to remember that.
Come on, I'm older than you. I'm 70. I remember the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
My dad was in the house.
I remember when TV was invented. I got my first TV in 1950 to see the coronation of the Queen. I'm very old, honey.
I forgot because you're so young at heart.
I look so young, but I'm 70. I just turned 70 last month.
Well, happy birthday. 70 years old.
I never thought I'd make it to 21.
You don't sound it.
Age is all in your mind. If you don't want to be old, you don't have to be.
Yep. So my dad played on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Cool.
And I was 1 year old when we lived in Los Angeles, and he was playing on the show there in Los Angeles.
What, he was a backup band there? He was in the backup band on that show? Yeah,
he was in the Les Brown's band. Les Brown was the band on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Cool. What did your mama do? Was she a singer?
No, she was just a housewife, and at that time, I was a year old, and she used to take me around to all these casting calls trying to make me a baby actor, I guess. And she got me on the one of the Ivory Snow boxes in 1958.
Oh, cool.
Where the little butt is sticking out from under the blanket. Which they can't do that anymore. They call it child pornography or something. Back then it was cute if a baby's butt was exposed under a blanket, but now it...
Yeah, they did that a lot in those days, a lot of babies' butts in the commercials.
Yep. I was on that Ivory Snow box. So
were you an only child?
Yeah, by my mom and dad, I was the only child by them.
And then they got married again and had other kids?
Yeah, they had other kids. They got divorced and had other kids by their new spouses and whatnot.
So did you get any other gigs when you were a baby?
Almost. When I was like 4, we were still living in L.A. My dad was still doing the Ted Mack Amateur Hour. And our neighbor produced a TV show called Menace.
Oh, wow. I love that show.
And they took me out for the part of the little boy. I think his name was Tommy or something. But they said I was a little bit too young. I was supposed to be Dennis's little sidekick, the little boy. I forget. I think his name was Tommy. But our neighbor produced a show. My dad knew him, and he said, why don't you have him come down audition? And by that time, my mom had me in tap dancing school, and and I looked ridiculous. She showed me a picture. I had long, curly hair with finger curls in it, and she put me in like one of them Buster Brown outfits, one of them little sailor outfits. They liked my look on the show, I guess, on Dennis the Menace. They liked the look.
Lord Fauntleroy.
They just thought I was a little too young, you know. It's hard to manage young kids.
Well, they can't learn the script too good. They're not
Not
good
at 4.
Yeah.
Now, if they'd have given me, if I'd have went 5 or 6, I'd probably done all right.
So when did you start playing music?
When do I what?
When did you start playing music? Playing
when
guitar?
did I start playing?
Yeah.
Probably when I was around 7 or 8.
Wow.
Oh,
what,
I
guitar?
was in a choir.
Piano?
I was in a choir in school. And then I went from that to playing drum, playing drum in the marching band. Played snare drum in the marching band when I was about 7 or 8. And then I did that all through school. And then I started playing guitar around 14, I guess, 14, 15, because my brother had a band, and he played guitar, and he used to get all the girls. My stepbrother.
Yeah.
I used to play drums in his band, and all the guitar players were getting all the girls. I said, well, I got to learn how to play guitar.
Yeah, the girls like the front man and the guitar player.
Yeah.
So you started playing guitar at 14, huh? And you started singing then too?
I started writing. I started writing around 14, 15.
Cool.
About 15 years old, I think I started writing. Because my brother had a band, so we would sit and write songs together, and they were like a southern rock band.
How old was your brother? How much older than you was he?
3 years older.
So he was from a first marriage.
17, and I was like 14, and we had a bass player, and I played drums. And then sometimes they would just have me singing. I would be the lead singer a lot. So they got another drummer, so I could be out front singing.
Well, you are a very good front man. That's what I always noticed about you when I first met you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, if I didn't think you were good, I wouldn't have remembered you all these years.
Yeah, you wouldn't have recognized
What's it
me.
been, 20, 30 years?
At least.
It's been about 30 years.
Somewhere around there. But you wouldn't have recognized me in our country rock band. I had shoulder-length hair.
Hair when I met you, you didn't have short hair. Did you have long hair? I like long hair.
I don't wear it long
I'm an old hippie,
anymore.
remember?
Yeah. I don't wear it long anymore because all the hippies, they wear their hair short now, and the rednecks wear their hair long.
Yeah.
It's kind of reversed.
We turned them out when we went to Nashville back in the 70s.
Yeah. I like Nashville. Cold there.
Oh yeah. The weather isn't that great. In the summer, it's kind of humid, and then the winter it snows and stuff. So I like Berkeley because it's like dank all year. It's like around 70 all year round.
Where we live is about 30 miles north of Houston, and today it was like 77.
Wow. But it gets real hot there in the summer, don't it? Don't it get real hot in summer?
Oh, yeah, it gets hot and humid. The humidity can be rough. But, yeah, the summer can be hot because we're by the Gulf and you get that Gulf air.
Yeah.
But when you get that Gulf air in the winter, it's nice because it's kind of like the Santa Anas out there in California.
Yeah.
Keeps it nice and warm.
So you're used to hot weather if you're from, Oklahoma and Nashville and Texas and L.A. You're used to hot. I'm from the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, so my body is used to it being kind of cold. That's how I wore all that velvet and stuff because I couldn't wear that in the hot weather. Humidity
gets to you, but after a while you get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to anything if you're born here.
But I'm used to it. I'm used to the humidity, and I love this time of year because it's the average temperature's in the 70s. There's not really much of a winter here. like there was in Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville is just a little too cold.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I love fans in Texas better. I mean, they are loyal.
Mhm.
The music scene down here is real good, and when people in the community get behind you, they get behind you.
Well, that's good.
I have people coming up to me in the grocery store and say, "Hey, I saw you playing the other night, and I was going to tip you, but I didn't have any money. Hey, here's 20."
That's nice.
I've had that happen in the grocery store I don't know how many times.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, because where we live is not a big town, so everybody knows everybody. So when I've played so many places down here that I'm just known all over this area. And it's a good area to be known because Mickey Newberry's from here. I actually went out to Mickey Newberry's mother's house a couple of years ago and visited her.
Is she still alive?
Mhm.
Is Mickey still alive?
92 or 93 now.
What about Mickey? Is he still alive?
No, Mickey passed away, when was that? Around 98 or 99, somewhere around there. And I loved Mickey. Mickey was one of my best friends.
Well, Willie Nelson's from Texas, too.
Yeah.
Buddy Holly and Waylon Jennings and Chris Gustafson was born there. I don't think he was raised there. I think he was raised up here around Stanford University, up somewhere around there. But he was born in Brownsville, Texas. Janice is from Texas.
Yeah, Willie and Waylon did a song, Luckenbach,
Texas.
And they actually mentioned Mickey Newberry in the song. They say Newberry's Train Song.
Yeah, I like that song.
It's one of the famous lines. I don't think people know a lot of people don't know who Newberry is, but songwriters know who he is.
Well, he did that American Trilogy, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I wish I were in the land of cotton. The one that Elvis ended up doing.
Yeah. I love his version of it.
Well, I was in Nashville, so he was in that little clique there, in the 70s with Chris Gustafson and Billy Swan and Waylon and all those were, those were all our friends there. Bucky Wilkins and Vince Matthews and all those guys. Those were some cool times. Billy Joe Shaver, he's still around. He's still out there playing.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
Mhm.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah.
Actually, I used to see him at a bar I used to go to on Music Row.
Uh-huh.
There used to be a real nice bar down there I used to go to, and a lot of the songwriters would go in there.
Doesn't he have a finger missing? He cut it off in some accident.
Yeah. He's got a finger
but
missing.
He plays guitar anyway, even without it.
And I forget how he lost it working somewhere.
Yeah, well, it was on a farm and some machinery got a cut in it.
Yeah, he's just an old country boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was working for Mickey Newberry one night, and I used to work the door for him when he'd do shows, and he was real particular about who he let work the door because guys would steal money from him. They would pocket some of the money off the door, but he knew me and loved me and trusted me, so I was working the door, and Chris Christopherson came to the door, and he asked me, I said, it'll be $10. He said, $10? He said, do you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're Chris Christopherson. I ought to charge you $20.
Did he give you the money?
10 for Mickey, and here's 10 for you. I like your style. He just came out to see Mickey Newberry play at the Bluebird in Nashville.
But he's used to getting in free.
But he's used to getting in free, but I wouldn't let him in free because I know he could afford to get in. Now, if there's somebody I knew that was like a broke songwriter or something, I might let them in free. But I wasn't letting Chris in free, and I didn't let John Prine in free either. Mickey drew a heck of a celebrity crowd out there.
Well, he was friends with Chris back then, back in the day. Chris and like Vince Matthews
best friend.
and Chris Gantry and them. They were all tight. They used to sleep on each other's floors and have circles where they'd sit and pass around a guitar and write songs and try to top each other. So they go back to the beginning of when they first started writing. So they're like blood brothers. But Mickey was one of those.
Yeah. Him and Chris are just like, they were like the best of friends. And
yes, I
Chris
know.
is a nice guy, too. I mean, he's really a nice person.
Yeah, I know Chris. Chris is really sweet, really sweet. Everybody loves Chris. The girls love him. The guys love him. Everybody loves him. And all the girls think he's still sexy, even though he's like 78 years old now. There's this fan page where they're always talking about how sexy he is. He's like 78 years old, and they're like trying to rip his clothes off.
Oh yeah, Mickey and Chris. Mickey was a nice guy too. He was a real nice guy.
Well, I never met Mickey. I know all the rest of them. I never met Mickey. I know they were friends, but I never met that one. I knew Kiki Freeman. Remember Kiki Freeman?
Yeah.
He wrote something like, "Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns in the bed."
Yeah. Oh, I remember the only place they play Have a Cigar when I did the recording out there in Santa Monica at Gingerbread Studios. The only radio station I could get it on was at, what was that guy's name? Had that funny show. That funny syndicated show.
We're in Nashville?
No, it was in California, I believe.
Oh, you mean Dr. Demento?
Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento. He used to play the heck out of Have a Cigar, Your Wife Just Had My Baby.
Well, I'm sure he would have loved that.
Yeah, I got him he was the only radio station that would play it. The rest of them wouldn't play it.
Yeah. Oh, well. I like freaky songs. And if other people don't, well, too bad.
Yeah, I remember.
Have you written any more funny songs, or you just write straight country?
A little of both.
I like the funny ones.
I got quite a few funny ones. Gustavo's pretty funny. I'll put that up on YouTube, Gustavo.
Yeah, do that, and I'll put it in the playlist so it plays after this show. So as soon as
it's sort of it's Latino country rock.
Uh-huh.
It's a summertime song. It's like a tequila drinking, funny summertime song.
Video of you doing Have a Cigar at the Love Inn. Did you see it? I put it up on my page. I'll put that up after the show until you can send me something else, and I'll put them both after the show so they can see what you look like.
That.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I had that movie maker. I know how to use a movie maker to make, like, put words and stuff on there and all that.
Well, all I do is take pictures and put the pictures. I don't bother with words. I just put pictures of the person that's singing up with it, and that's good enough. I do that with the TV. I mean, with this radio show, I take pictures of the person that's on the show and put them along with the talking so that they can see what you look like when you're young and cute. I try to find young and cute ones. Being all of us are old buzzards now.
Well, the picture you put up on...
All my friends are 60s, 70s, 80s.
That picture you put up on your radio show advertisement, it was from 2004.
Well, that's not too long ago. I want some young pictures. Put some young pictures up there so I can use them. I want when I knew you, when you were a young buck.
I'll have to dig around, see if I can find some of them.
Well, get them up there.
Hey, they did put, when I was playing Music Valley Wax Museum in Nashville, I did get my handprints put in concrete.
Well, once I looked on Google search, and I put your name in Google search, and I found a whole bunch of pictures. So why don't you try that? Put your name, Terry Lee Ballard,
on images.
The search machine in the images, and I came up with a whole bunch of pictures of you there.
Yeah, I've got one.
Try that.
From the induction ceremony where I'm putting my footprints in what they call the Sidewalk of the Stars across from
Uh-huh.
Opryland Hotel.
Oh, that's cool. So you're a star in the cement now. Why don't you write a song about that? I'm a star in the cement.
The sidewalk
at
in
Opryland.
It's called the National Sidewalk of the Stars is what it's called. It's right across from Opryland Hotel.
Cool.
I'm out there with Alan Jackson and all the legends, George Jones,
Chris
George Strait.
Christopherson.
Whole bunch of them. I think there's 230 of them out there. I know I used to clean them. And people would come out there and get their pictures taken, like with Loretta Lynn.
Uh-huh.
Her handprints.
Put their handprints in there and see if they're the same size as a hero.
It's the redneck version of
Hollywood.
The, Chinese theater down there, yeah.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Yeah, the first thing I went to when I went to Hollywood was the Goldman Chinese Theater to see the footprints and the handprints.
Yeah, I went down there and had to see that too.
Yeah,
and I think
everybody has to.
Walked up and down Hollywood Boulevard looking at all those stars in the sidewalk. Hollywood was definitely weird.
Brave and the free. Okay, my show is just about over now. Thank you for being on my show, Terry Lee Ballard. Everybody go look at. He's on Facebook, so you can find him there and find out where he's playing, what he's doing. All right.
Also on Reverb Nation.
Okay.
And they can actually download Gustavo, the song I was telling you about.
Okay.
They can download that for free.
All right. So
I have one free download on Gustavo.
Okay, look up Terry Lee Ballard. So this is Girl George and the Dragons Radio Show saying, see you later, alligator.